Hello, Froggy here, and today I'll be showing you how to get into the salt mines on the EDZ. Naturally, this area was sunset, but still exists from out of map, so we can go check it out. I'll be bringing my Sparrow along. You want to back up and hold S to point your nose upwards and boost on in. It may be wise to get rid of the enemies before taking your Sparrow in, but if you're careful you can just avoid them all and boost on through. Oh. Well then. I guess I'll take a little detour and show you the non-Sparrow route. Go on over to here, you can take this teleporter. This is the lift that would break down in the campaign. Transmat sometimes doesn't work right, so you might need to do it a few times. We did lose the campsite up top in the Great Sunsetting that was used for the Rose Thorn mission. Anyways, here's where you would come up in the old Red War campaign. And over here is the out of map that Gerbsnail used in his video a while back. If you go this way, you need to come over to the elevator shaft when you drop to avoid the death barriers. And we can get a little view of the nice lights out there, but we'll be getting a better view shortly. Anywho, let's go back below. I've gone ahead and brought a new Sparrow out and cleared out the enemies so we don't have any more unfortunate accidents. While you're down here, you may notice that there is in fact planetary material, so we have a very silly dusklight farm, I guess. I'll be showing you pretty much everywhere you would go during the Red War mission Combustion, and several places you couldn't go. So, over here we're coming up to the first blue barrier that blocks our progress. You could naturally use a Quantum Sparrow to break through it, but that's not why we brought a normal Sparrow. I noticed back in this corner here there is an opening. Unfortunately, it is too small to fit a Guardian through. But luckily, a Guardian dismounting a Sparrow has no width, so we can just back our Sparrow up to the hole and dismount straight through it. It may look like you could just walk back in, but you cannot. If we can get a ride prompt, we could even use our Sparrow to get back into the map if that's something you wanted to do. Anyways, let's get going. Can't really get too far up here, although it looks like you can shoot through there. It is blocked off. Might be able to squeeze through something on the top, but I'm not sure. Anyways, there's a much better opening on the bottom. And now the entire map opens up. Well, if I actually stay out, that is. Well, you can see everywhere that you would be going. And oh, there we go. Here's the nice view of the lights. Got a nice little screen that makes them even more visible. I put up a short of these a while back, but didn't make a guide at the time since Gerbsnail had a video that covered it. But found an extra hole, and we know more about Rez Breaching now, so I figured it was worthwhile to make my own guide. Got the elevator over there. And the pesky barrier that previously stopped our motion. There are a decent amount of death barriers here if you stray away from the paths that you would normally walk, so as is usually the case, you'll want to try to keep close to what the expected path would be. get away from that area. And I think I'm just gonna transfer underneath here and keep going with the path. There's some pretty cool stuff out of map around here. You can kind of see those floating boxes below. I'm currently just trying to make my way in that direction. There we go, we've got the walkway down, so it should be clear and death zone free. A little bit of graffiti. And these strange featureless white boxes. I'm really not sure what they're there for. Ooh, some auroras. Kind of a nice view. But, yeah. Anyways, if we come up over this way, you can get a glimpse into about where the last big confrontation of the campaign mission would be. We'll be getting into that room later. But first, I want to see if we can get a peek into the inside of these white boxes. Might be able to get the camera to poke inside if we just die around here. Camera's pretty close. It's not great. I think we can get a little bit of a better view. Let's try that one more time. Well, this corner. That's a little better. So we can see it's full of a whole lot of nothing. That, like, thin thing almost looks like a, enemy spawning platform, but it wouldn't spawn out here. We'll leave that mystery for another time. I remember there was something like that on the Tangled Shore as well. So we're just going to run back up this hill. And near the top of it is a very nice place for a Rez Breach. I rediscovered it on my own, but went back and confirmed it was the same one that Gerbsnail found a while back. But we didn't have all the nice Rez Breaching tech that we do now. Especially with the whole it being very easy to spawn about where you died with the res system change. So we're going to be going, well, can't quite see it there, right up into that pocket. If you got something like a stasis melee, you could try just meleeing on in and hoping for the best. It may be better to switch to 30 frames per second to do this, but you don't need to. I've done it both ways. Nope, and we didn't quite get it there. I could wait a few seconds for my melee to recharge, but with what we know about Rez Breaches now, that isn't actually necessary. So while we want to spawn up there, we could first set a spawn point a specific distance away to make it easy. If we jump right up into this pocket here, that will remove this area from our possible next spawn point. And we should set one around where we were walking just now. Now I just need to die. If they ever fix the spawn system, I would have to move away and die elsewhere, but until then, I'll just respawn and jump on through. This one was at a high frame rate. Might be easier to do at 30 frames a second, but, you know, not actually needed. I got a spawn door there. Just for the sake of completion, I'm trying to spot the blue barrier that blocked us. Actually, I think down is where you would go during the mission from my faint recollection. These are definitely not meant to be played in reverse, so I'm not expecting any nice cues on where I'm supposed to not go. That's the same spawn door. And this is about where we came up, I think. And that is almost a hole in the map. A little too solid for a usable hole. I think we're pretty close to... Ah, yes! A nondescript hole. And there's that blue barrier. Anywho, now that we've seen it, time to go forwards. So there is a nifty little... I don't know if it's an Easter egg or something up here that I don't recall if you could actually get to during the mission itself. I feel like up here was probably blocked off. Let me know in the comments if you remember. But we can take this... Oh, before I go off, I just want to show you that you can't actually just climb all the way up. But yeah, you can take this hole over here out onto the catwalks that the Fallen shoot at you as you like ride the elevator up to the end of the mission. So, if you're wondering how on earth they would ever get to these catwalks, now you know. I definitely don't remember walking along them during the mission, but they are kind of fun to navigate, I guess. Got some narrow bits going on. And they go up a little ways. There is a hidden back room here. And if you sneak on through, a lone skeleton. I don't know if there's any lore explanation for what this guy's doing up here, but do let me know. I know it has some history with the glitch community, at least. Well, let's head on back to the elevator. Now we could climb to the top, which I'll do in a moment, but first let's take a look at the bottom. It is luckily very easy to jump right out. And here we are in the final battle area. Not too many enemies except for those tricksy red perils of doom. You can see the long climb back up. There's actually enough little things on the wall that I kind of wonder if you could climb up without having to use stasis. It might be possible, but I'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer. Anyways, let's go ahead and do that stasis climb. Gotta switch over to my climbing gear. I'll give you a link to the video that describes that if you want to try this setup out. I'll be speeding up the climb a little bit, but all I'm really cutting out is shooting a couple of crystals and waiting a while for my grenade to recharge. It's not a very bad climb. When the lighting starts getting bright, you'll know that you are pretty close to the top. There we go. And just about there. And we've reached the top. Don't see anywhere to go from here, but luckily we can get into that area from the top if you want to just finish out being everywhere that you could be in the campaign mission. Just gonna climb up on this rock here and jump over onto the awning. On the far left side of it, you can kind of sneak past the barrier. It's a little tricky because you're at the map ceiling, which is why we just got the turn back. And now we can jump on into the room through one of the larger holes. And we're on the other side. I hope you enjoy exploring this area. It is a whole lot of fun. Many things to jump over. But unfortunately, since we can't actually get through this grate, nothing to do but fall. Speaking of which, I wonder what we'll get to explore in Lightfall.